Hi, this is Sergeant Beast Larson. How to enter a dorm, a facility, a place when there's an inmate fight or an officer needs assistance. Now, there's some other videos out there. They have different approaches. My approach, I'm wearing a safety reflective vest here for you to think safety as you enter. Safety of you, safety of the other officers, as well as those inside. Safety is your big concern. This is not like, and I want to first thank Andy for suggesting this video. This is not like being on a police SWAT team where you sit down and you draw out a plan. There's no time for plans. When they call the code for inmate fight, we use 1010. When you hear that, you go. You know it's inmates fighting. You don't want to run and be exhausted and hurt yourself getting there. I know that might sound different, maybe not what you expect, but this is what you're going to be taught. If it's an officer needs assistance, then you're going to run hard and get in there. But when the inmates are fighting with each other, which they do daily and all the time, always squabbling, you can't hurt yourself to save somebody else. In law enforcement, they teach you that. Don't drive 150 miles an hour and wreck and die on the way to a car wreck or something else. You're of no help if you're physically not able to help. That's my point. So responding to a fight call, here's some things to keep in mind, Andy. New guys don't go in the door first. You don't have a training experience. You don't know how to control the inmates. You don't know what you're doing. So follow the lead. Usually a supervisor, one of the senior guys will lead. And hopefully, here's what would happen. Here's what I did as a sergeant. You come up, you're getting to the dorm, or if somebody's in front of me, depending on what information we knew or what was going on, maybe some intel that I had, I would try and tell them, stop, wait for us, go in as a group. And tell them, I'll go first, or the three of us, let's go in quick. I always carry the taser. The taser needs to go in the front. That way you can deal with inmates. You got inmates fighting, doing something, and you tase one, hit that button, cycle it, tase a second inmate, which you can do. That gets a lot of attention quick. You don't run in and start spraying OC spray because you're affecting all your officers and putting yourself at risk. So keep the OC in the holster right off the bat, unless there's something specific that they tell you to take it out and be ready. You're pretty much going to go in, use your brain and use your mouth. Use your thinking and your verbal skills. Use your presence, your reputation, your officer presence. Those things that have been established. Yes, they all mean something. And that's why, Tear Talk on myself and the guys, we make videos that talk like this to get you to multitask and think. Bring in your presence. When I come in, Sergeant Beast Larson, with a couple guys, a couple from the posse that they know we're about to deal business, my taser comes in, it's ready to go, and I get to, give them my commands. They're doing exactly what we're saying because we're not playing. They know that. What needs to happen when you get in? One person gives verbal commands. He tells whoever, we'll say 6 officers are entering. A supervisor, 5 officers. Supervisors are going to say, hey, you guys go up top, you 2 down below. What you want to happen is everybody needs to get on the ground right there. Stop right there. They don't get up and go run in the cell because they're going to hide weapons and contraband, and they're going to hide from you. And you're going to have to go door to door searching for blood, for signs of physical altercation. You don't want them messing with the evidence. You don't want them hiding from you. So the goal is everybody in on the ground. Same as officer need assistance. Everybody get on the ground. Whoever's fighting, tell them to get on the ground. You can always handcuff them in a minute. You don't need to handcuff them exactly at that first second. So verbally in your presence, you get control. You put them on the ground. On the ground. I said that about 5 times because it doesn't happen all the time. Officers get excited. They forget. They let officers go. They get tunnel vision. And throw that out. Russ out in California, Russ Hamilton and I, we talk about tunnel vision and officers losing focus on the big picture. But the big picture in correction is also the little picture and the medium-sized picture, the 32-inch screen in between. Everything's not jumbo size. Watch for all. Watch for all. So you go in, get everybody on the ground, stop all the movement. Once everybody's on the ground and they're not moving, they're fighting. Bruises, little cuts, things like that. It's not likely to be an immediate life-threatening situation. You go around, you figure out who's involved, you assess for any injuries, you make a determination, The highest ranking there is the one they'll call medical. They'll tell them what exactly is going on, what they need medically. Once everything's under control, you've kind of figured it out, supervisor will say, okay, you know, officer A and B, you two handcuff these three guys right here. And then the supervisor will take an officer or two and they'll start going along the edge of the wall. Now you can't see my hands moving, but going along the edge of the wall, kind of like up the screen and around, and slowly they'll start putting people in, or they'll call a cell. 110, inmates get up and go to 110, 111, 112. Get them in, quick visual check, shut the door. Once you're inside and you get things stopped, then everything needs to slow drastically down. Don't be in a rush to cuff, get him out of there. You need to assess what's going on, because it may be 2 or 3 big incidents happening. Don't just settle for 2 guys with scratches on their eye and run out the door. So I know 6 minutes I've explained this, you know, getting things to be excited kind of a thing. But think about what you're doing. Safety. In numbers. Enter in numbers. If the inmates are fighting, they've got weapons and stabbing, you can wait for the CERT team. There's not an officer or staff member in danger, only inmates. You can legally justify staying at that door for the supervisor to make the call or have the team come in. It may be a pre-riot or a riot situation, and you need to stay outside. Let the CERT commander, TAC commander, shift commander, whatever, come down and say, okay, let's wait. No, we're going to take 20 people and then we're going to go in. That's what it takes. That's their decision. Let them make that call. You follow their lead. Now let me flip a little bit. Officer calling a code. You know, for us it was 1078. Officer need assistance. If there's weapons involved, somebody's going to say. And it's the worst thing I heard one night, late at night. 1078 with multiple weapons. 3 officers were beat with brooms. 3 officers. One of them had the eye socket really damaged, eyeball almost hanging down. I mean, they were beating those 3 officers with weapons. We got down there, we came in like it was World War III. That's a call that you dread to hear on the radio, but you got to be prepared. Control your emotion. I made a video talking about use of force and controlling your emotion for this reason. Got to have clear-headed. You can't just say, they're beating my buddy with a stick, I'm going in and ... You don't go in thinking like that. You have to go in and think. Protect. You got to serve the other officers coming through efficiently. It's not John Wayne kind of a moment. Everything has to be a good plan. You make that plan as you run fast, you go in, you get in. Whoever's next to you, you take that door, go in. A lot of times I would grab the officer by their arms so they would be real close to me, you know, to make them feel comfortable and feel like it's a buddy plan, like they're not going in something alone. I've been in things alone before a lot. I'm retired police. I've been on SWAT team, 2 SWAT teams. So I've been alone in bad stuff. But when they haven't, take them, keep them close, guide them. They will be your buddy and your partner, and they will help protect you. They'll respect you for doing that, senior folks, supervisors. So I hope this kind of makes sense. I'll just summarize here really quick. Safety, like this reflective vest. You get in there. Go in there as a group. Somebody's going to call the plan as you're running or you're getting by the door. But you get everybody on the ground right where they are. Freeze, get on the ground. Freeze, get on the ground. Don't let people run anywhere. Don't let them hide. Keep your eyes peeled. If anybody, you see arms moving like this, they're throwing stuff, throwing weapons or whatever, keep an eye on that. Come back and check it in a little bit. Everybody's on the ground. Everybody's safe. And then the supervisor or ranking person will start returning the non-involved inmates. Secure the inmates. Somebody escorts them to medical, yes. And then lastly, and I didn't point this out before, is any kind of evidence. Once everybody's back in the cell, once you get the inmates up, they're patted down, taken to medical, you're still in a common area. You guys need to do a thorough search. The TV room, the day room, wherever they're at. If it's in the lunchroom, the dining hall, do a sweep, do a thorough search. Make sure there's no weapons there or weapons that they weren't using that are still potentially a threat for later. A good plan, a lot of verbalization, partnership, buddy. Be close together. Don't run in and just immediately spread out and fan out because you're isolating yourself. Stay close together until you get people on the ground. Send some upstairs, some downstairs. Supervisors will coordinate this because they've done this many times. Secure those involved in a fight. In cuffs, secure them. Get them patted down real quick for weapons. Move everybody out, or take the injured out. Then once they're not there, that's up supervisor, then start returning people to the cell, one cell at a time. You can do this, the top range people, they go back in the bottom range, one cell at a time. That's fine. But don't tell 20 people to get up and move, because you're going to let them get up and start a fight again and have to go back and re-control it. You don't want re-control. Once you get control, you keep it. It's kind of like a chocolate bar. When I get that chocolate bar, I'll give you a little piece, but I won't give you the whole thing. Never. Only my wife. So, Andy, hopefully this will kind of help guide you just a little bit. There's not an exact role like cell extractions. I did make a video on cell extractions to watch, where I do go in great detail each member's role, the hands, the legs, what to do. And I talk about the nerve points and control and joint manipulation for every person. Now that's in about a 50-minute video, but it's like complete class in detail how to handle that. I also tell you how to work out, how to prepare to be on an extraction team, because it is exciting. And once you're the team, you're going to start off a leg man like everybody. How to work up to be the shield man. So hopefully this helps everybody, helps the new folks. It's not just ABCD, do ABCD roles, because it's always different. It's always different. Let the senior people guide you. Just come in and listen. What's important, not directly what I've been saying so far. You do need to eat right. You need to be exercising, because you'll get overwhelmed with excitement, especially in a heat like this, 95 in the heat index again for the umpteenth day in a row. You will be exhausted running before you get to a building. You won't be able to protect yourself and others. So let's keep our fitness levels going. Jumping jacks, jog in place, even the littlest things will help. Keep the fitness going, the nutrition going, and your fluids, your water, your electrolytes. Keep them always going. All right, Andy, keep the questions coming. Talk to you soon.